Is Florida State a playoff caliber team? Did they deserve to be selected by the College Football Playoff Selection Committee? My answer to that, simple enough, is no. And before you click off on this video, just hear me out. Florida State is 13-0, they're the ACC champion, and they're playing with their third-string quarterback. All great stories and accolades for this selection. However, the fact that they play in the ACC and in the ACC this year, where the ACC is extremely weak, it hurts them. I heard a point on the radio on Selection Sunday before the picks went out, and it really sold me on why Florida State didn't deserve it. And it was, okay, so like the whole basis is that Florida State is undefeated, and that's their whole argument. And if the committee was looking at that and that was their sole basis, then why don't the 13-0 Liberty Flames get considered? And you would say, oh, but they play in the CUSA, they play nobodies. Well, okay, well, who exactly does Florida State play in the ACC? They played 15th-ranked Louisville in the ACC Championship, who they only scored 16 points on. They played a now unranked Duke team, number 13 LSU. They struggled against 3-5 conference play Boston College, an average Clemson team, and an average Miami team. Okay, compare that to Alabama, who also played LSU. They played number 21 Tennessee, number 11 Ole Miss, and number 6 Georgia. Alabama is 12-1, with their only loss coming against now number 3 Texas. Florida State simply did not have the schedule to prove whether they deserve to be in the playoffs. I don't think they do deserve it. I think if they would have played real competition, they would have gotten thrashed. I think that if the Seminoles did make it and they got to play Michigan, it would have been a bloodbath. It would have been like when TCU played Georgia. And I hate to bring Jordan Travis into this because obviously one player should not make or break a team, but losing him on the national stage really makes a difference. Obviously, it didn't in ACC play because, like I said, the ACC is extremely weak. This year's ACC absolutely sucked. But when you play in the SEC or Big Ten or any of those big conferences, it really matters. So maybe I am feeling different if Jordan Travis is playing. But really, I don't know that I would. I simply just don't believe that Florida State is a top 4 team. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think the committee got this one right. Now, Georgia, I think they screwed that up. They got shafted. They were number 1 up until the SEC championship. To lose to a very talented Alabama, who I think is the most underrated team in the nation, I don't believe that the Bulldogs deserve to get shafted. But Florida State, yeah, they shouldn't have been in there. And for these fans who are like, oh, boycott the Orange Bowl, that'll show the NCAA. No, you're doing nothing but hurting yourself. That's a great way to throw away a great season. The Orange Bowl would be the biggest win for Florida State since the Jameis Winston days. Now, I believe Georgia's going to win that game. I think they're going to beat Florida State to death. And I hope I'm proved wrong because I'm really an ACC guy. I really am. I'm a Carolina fan. I love to see the ACC do well, though, and I do not want Carolina's conference getting disrespected. But at this point, the ACC is the weakest of the Power Fives. So Florida State just isn't a top 4 football team. If the committee was looking for the top 4 teams in college football, Florida State is not one of them. And if I'm wrong, if I'm proven wrong on that, then I'll be the first one to admit it. But truly, I don't think I'm going to be.